Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ask Coach V. Woohoo! Hello, Coach Ivon.
Hey, Coach V, and hey, everyone. We're going to have a good one today.
A good one today. So excited. We are back here bringing all these wonderful people here, our tribe, our warriors, our friends, some great relevant information as we answer some questions, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I know we have some people watching that have seen us before, and we probably have some people that haven't. So in Ask Coach V, what we do is I look around different social media groups on the internet or just hearing agents talk, and I get some questions and I bring them to Coach V and see what she says. So she doesn't see them ahead of time. She doesn't know what I'm going to ask. And we just like to have a nice, real conversation about it. So Coach V, you ready to get started?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah. So I never know the questions, and it's always something fun to talk.
All right, so let's do it. So I'm going to read this first one that I set aside here. And this one is kind of a fun one. It's not so, down to business, I guess. So where did you get your first listing as a new agent? And where did you get your highest price listing as a seasoned agent? I think this is a good one. I think this is one people might like to hear you talk about.
Oh, very nice. And by the way, I just told this story on my event in San Diego, how I got my first listing. So I love about that because you never forget your first kiss, right? You never forget your first boyfriend or girlfriend or, your first listing. It was with Mrs. Springer, and it was by dropping flyers around my neighborhood that I declared was going to be my farm coach.
Oh, okay. And so were you how new were you? First year, second year?
Oh, it was actually my first year in business. My first year in the business. And at the end of the year, in the beginning, I was pretty much working with buyers all the time. Then I realized I need to have different lead sources. I didn't even know what to do. I didn't have a coach. I had no training. So I stopped putting flyers, with that a little bit of update, what I call today equity update. And she called me. And she called me, and I was all nervous and excited and
How did that
anxious.
conversation go?
By the way, how many of you guys remember your first listing? It was a combination of her answering question, me stumbling throughout the answers and doing my best. And I bet now, I guess she liked me because she gave me the listing. She gave me the listing, and we had a good time. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and we listed at 375,000. She was moving to Roseville. Oh my gosh, Coach, I remember everything. Since then, I have sold thousands of homes, but I should say thousands of homes. I remember everything because, again, it was like my first.
Well, tell me a little bit, just so we can get into the mind of a new agent through the lens of a seasoned agent and coach. So do you remember she called you, and then did you set an appointment? Did you ask for the business? I mean, were you kind of all over the place? How did it go?
A little bit like that. Today, thank God, I left afterwards. I didn't have to go through that anxiety mode. Well, she got my flyer, so she called me and she said, "I'm thinking about moving. I'm thinking about going to Roseville." I didn't even know how to. At that time, I didn't know how to pre-qualify a seller. So I said, "Great, okay, I'll come over. Let's talk." So I set a time and I went to see her. And I didn't have a specific scientific or step-by-step approach. I just showed up with a lot of energy, enthusiasm. And I told myself, this is it, Vanda. The house is here. She's here. You're going to get this. You're going to make this happen. So I came with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of desire and drive. And I told myself, whatever happens, I'm going to make the best of it. And I'm going to ask. So I started talking. She actually said, let's do it. Let's do it. So she actually the one who closed me because I was still talking and excited about it. But, as I told everyone on my event that we just had, is I don't want anybody to go through that uncertainty and anxiety, kind of nervousness. I had my palms are sweating. I don't want anybody to have that, but I want everyone to have that delicious feeling of winning, that outcome that I had. So the outcome was great. but the process was a little painful.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I think maybe a big takeaway from this for anyone that's watching that's, maybe hasn't gotten their first listing yet, or they're still a new agent is, look, you'll hear us say it all the time, that it's all about skills. It's all about learning the processes, the systems. But even before you have more practice, even before you learn more skills, having that awesome energy, right? Showing up bright, vibrant, full of energy, showing that to the prospect, that'll get your foot in the door. Even if you haven't had the time to hone all your skills yet,
Yeah.
if you can get that energy up there, that's a great place to start as a new agent, right, Coach
Oh
V?
yeah. Oh yes, yes. And you said the right things. It's energy is everything. It's contagious. It's more contagious than any COVID virus or anything. It's contagious even on Zoom here, right? So you show up, you talk to someone who's thinking about moving, thinking about uprooting herself to a different place, and you meet someone who is alive, excited, vibrant, and say, "Hey, I understand what you say and I understand what you come from. I'll help you. I'll take care of it. I can do it." That kind of attitude, coach, is 50 to 60% of the whole presentation. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's take it to the next part then. Let's keep it moving. So that was your first listing. What about your highest price listing as a seasoned agent? Where did that come from?
Well, I was selling home in Half Moon Bay. Oh, excuse me, Half Moon Bay. I was living in Half Moon Bay. I was selling home in the Palo Alto area, and me and my colleague that we worked together. So we were listing homes, $3 million, $4 million. I was doing open houses and $4 or $5 million home. He had a very nice listing for $25 million. So that was very nice. So
Well, then let me rephrase the question then, because for those of you that don't know, as Coach V was transitioning from, selling real estate to being a coach, she changed markets and she sold in a different market for a little while. So how about in your original market in kind of Central Valley, California area, where you sold for the longest stretch of time? Because in Palo Alto, all the homes are really expensive, but in your original market where you were selling, a wide range, not only expensive homes, where did you get your biggest listing in that market?
where did I get? Well, it came from my farm. Uh, Now, it was my farm. However, because I was already such established agent and people saw me everywhere, right? So they saw me on the newspaper because Bank at the time, they always put producer of the month. So I happened to be most of the time the producer of the month. So I was always on the front page, or should say the first page of the real estate magazine for the Sunday edition. I also had so many signs everywhere. I also direct mail my farm. So it was a combination. So I sold, it was about 1.8 million. Remember, I was in the Central Valley, Stockton, Manteca, Lodi, and one,
So
one still,
1.8 million there is very different from 1.8 million in the Bay Area, Palo Alto.
1.8 million in the house that I sold in the Central Valley, because again, location, and Palo Alto is one of the most expensive areas. So the house that I sold for 1.8 million is, actually I did a $2 million one too. It's probably would go, I don't know, if you go old Palo Alto, it's probably $20 million. Again, this is why location, right? But I did sell the most expensive homes in the area. And I sold also a small wine vinicula. How would you say that in
vineyard?
English?
A vineyard.
Vineyard. Thank you. It's nice that you speak my other language as well, Coach.
Well, so it sounds like, tell me if I'm wrong, Coach V. Tell me if you agree with me. When you start getting to these high price points, and even at the low price points, because look, at the end of the day, people are the same. They want to have a good result for themselves. What they want from you is trust, right? And so it sounds like with, working in your farm, having signs up, having that visibility, people get to know your name, you're a known quantity, and you start to get that business from there. So I think one of the things that seasoned agents, they benefit from is they have that brand, they have that trust that is going to let someone say, okay, I'm going to trust them with, my $2 million.
Yes, right. And every home adds up. In the beginning, I went right for quantity. I wanted to sell everything and anything because I wanted money for marketing. I wanted money for my staffing. I wanted money to build my team and, for living in Texas. Once I started doing a lot of units, Yvonne, coach, when I got to 125 units, I said, I told my coach, by then I had a coach. I said, coach, now that I got 125 units, I'm selling a lot of homes. I remember yesterday, 2004, my team did about 115 transactions, and I had a small team, like one full-time and one starting brand new. I did by myself 108 homes. I sold 108 homes. So that year I said, okay, now I want to go into the highest price range. So I start really putting the time, the marketing, the effort, the focus on high end. And then I really went to door knocking, direct mailing, and doing all the direct approach for the high end. And then networking, volunteering, moving to the most expensive areas, it really got me to know all the wealthy, rich people. And I saw the home of the mayor, of the basketball coach of the university, and all the wealthy people local. Because you see, you do business with the people you hang out with. You do business, right? So again, it's a mix of energy, focus, and then the approach, using the systems and your approach, your brand towards that. So it's a combination. When you are seasoned, you keep the momentum. And yes, coach, you're right on the money. When you are doing for a while and you do it consistently is the name of the game. Consistently is the glue. Stuff comes from everywhere. So every client I had, coach, I would say, great. They'll call me, hey, Vanda, I'm thinking about selling my home. Can we talk? And I'll call them. And I said, thank you. I appreciate you calling me. I appreciate that. I know you have choices. Let me ask you, how did you get my name? How did you hear from me? And sometimes you say, oh, we talk in a group, or I saw you speak here in this, the Rotary Club, or heard you on the radio. I had a little ad on, remember?
Mm-hmm.
On
NPR.
In NPR, just like this show was promoted, this show was brought to you by Vanda Martin team. They don't have, you cannot have a call to action, but they announce you. So people heard from me here and there, from me volunteering. So yeah, the message is get involved, network, do your direct mailers, do your open house, do your thing, because it comes back to you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all right, let's keep it moving to the next question. So this one is totally different. And this one, I think you'll have a nice take on. So I saw someone post this in a Facebook group about real estate, and I didn't take the time to read through all the answers. I'm sure it would have been interesting, but let's hear your take. And the question was, what are some of the best value propositions that people use? So I thought this was a good question because maybe we can talk about even a little bit behind the question. So first off, what is this person talking about when they say, what are some of the best value propositions that people use? Can you describe that to someone that maybe, doesn't really know that term or what they're trying to say with that?
Yeah, yes, love it. Love the question, by the way, coach. UVP, unique value proposition, also known in many areas as we do sell real estate and sell homes, is USP, unique selling proposition. So the concept is, what differentiates you? What's your degree of separation? What makes you different from me and the rest? So it can be many things. It can be your niche. It can be the way you prepare your home, right? Nordstrom touch. It can be, and one of the best one, if you have the track record to prove, is I sell 2 times more or 3 times more than the average real estate agent in this area. I mean, this is fantastic. Can you imagine you can really claim that record and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you talk to a lot of people, and I want to make sure you understand we're not all the same. And let me share with you some things that makes me different from everybody else. My degree of separation, and I'm so proud of it because it's going to work for you and your benefit. Let me share this with you. And then you make the claim, right? You do the claim and then you explain. And one of the ones I did in my time when I was selling real estate is I sell more homes than any other agent in town. And and I'm proud of it. And now not only have sold homes, but for a higher price. And now let me show you. And then you show your track record. So it can be for you, stop and reflect. What makes me different? We all claim, Coach Ivon, isn't it true? People claim you can trust me, you can believe me. My brand is this, but this is so generic. Everybody claims this, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's really what makes
Trustworthy.
it
Yes. Go ahead.
so cool about having a good value proposition is you can't say just value proposition. You want to have that unique value proposition. You want to have something that's specific. So it takes a little reflection, right? Because really all you're doing is, what can I look at, what I do, how I do it, what I deliver, and put it into words so that the prospect or the client will see value in it, right? Because it's all about portraying your value to them. And so, we talk to our clients about it sometimes, that you can get creative, right? What do you do differently? It doesn't have to be only stats. Of course, if you have powerful stats on your side, like I sell more homes in this area than anyone else, or my homes sell 2 times faster than the average agent, or for 10% more. Those stats are all great, but it can also be about, what do you do differently? How do you treat your clients differently? What services do you provide? And there's a lot of ways to differentiate if you take the time to think about it.
Exactly. Like, remember, Felicia gave an example for us, one of our VIP clients, one-on-one. She was saying that I take the time to prepare the home in such a way that when it goes to the market, it showcase, it's such a model home. And we go over this. And there's, again, you make a claim, you explain, and you display, and you explain how you do it. And if you can tell a story and show pictures before and after, for example, in your case, if your differentiation is how you are meticulous in preparing the home, from painting to, she actually brought the resources, her whole concierge, to fix the whole house. Remember that, Coach Ivon?
Yeah. And that's a great way to do it if you can, right? And make sure you protect your funds, protect your money, qualify those clients.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think maybe the right answer here of, what are the best value propositions? It's going to come down to what you do and how you do it, right? Because not everyone is going to have the same value propositions. You got to look at your business, look at what you do, how you do it, and paint that picture for the client.
I know. Now, can I go deeper a little bit? I know we have to go soon because everybody has to go sell homes and build the business. Now, I want to go deeper here in a different mindset for you. Listen, when you are smart, strategic, and you do have several ways to differentiate yourself, several ways to stack the gold, you got to be even clever. Because if I know my avatar, my listing seller is analytical, I'm going to go on the differentiation that talks about, how many showings my listings have online, how many eyeballs, how many buyers I bring to the table, because they love that. Data,
I go with stats.
Traffic, I go with stats. If I know I have an expressive in the table in front of me, and she is so concerned about what expressive loves, marketing, who's going to know, I'm going to go deep about not only my branding. I'm going to say, listen, let me ask you this, Mrs. Seller, how many videos on Instagram, on Facebook you watch? How many times you look at some beautiful videos, even on TV, of great homes? Can I show you how many videos I do for my listing? Let me give an example of the kind of, and then you make that, the differentiation on your marketing about how many websites and how many videos and what the drones that you use is going to bring, so much views, and who's going to know about your home. And by the way, for example, the expressive, for them is a who's who, and you tell them you're going to throw a party. You're going to throw a huge party. You're going to invite all the who's who in San Diego, and you're going to have wine and crackers and music, and you're going to throw a party for all the wealthy and rich people to come and see the listing. That person's like, I like that. You see, again, you can adjust and adapt and pivot in a way that you can use your unique value proposition that match the personality, the needs, and the wants of the clients. See, that's strategic. Could you agree, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. And it just kind of goes back to making sure that you take the time to think about these so you can have that repertoire, you have that toolbox, and you can pull out whatever unique value proposition you need to, because people care about different things. right? I mean, if you think you're selling value to someone by talking about something and they don't care about it, it's not a value proposition for them, right? It's not something
Exactly.
important to them. So you got to know what's important to these people. What's their motivation? What's their personality style? What do they want to hear from me? And that's where your value proposition is to come from.
Exactly, because it's not about us. It's about them, right? So you have a presentation with a buyer, seller. If you not Google them, you are out of your mind. You Google these people. You Google them. You go on the LinkedIn page. You go on the Facebook page. You're going to see what they work, what they love, what they habits, and you adjust and adapt your presentation. You're speaking quality, your tonality, your examples, your stories to their model of the world, to their filter of the world. So first of all, you decide, okay, this is my top 3 or top 4 unique value proposition or unique selling proposition, and adapt them. And by the way, you know what? Even better. This is my unique value proposition for the analytical. This is the one I'm going to use for the amiables. This is one I'm going to use for the expressive and the drivers. And you have that kind of strategic approach, and you define and you have the right story, the right analogy, and you make them feel unbelievable. Oh my gosh, you're on a whole different level, baby.
Done deal right there, right?
Done deal.
Well, I think that's probably a great place for us to close out. I think we had some cool questions, brought us to a couple different places with the conversation, but I think we shared a lot of value. And thanks, Coach V, for answering those.
Thank you. My pleasure. I love that you bring me stuff from everywhere, and I have no idea what's going to happen, so I can have fun with it. So I hope you are enjoying our conversations. Is that right, Coach Ivon?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are enjoying the conversation, share it with someone that you think could benefit from it. Share it with someone that you think would enjoy it too. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss these, because we're going to keep doing them as often as we can. And we're going to keep bringing more questions, more value, more conversation to really help you guys grow.
Fantastic. Do me a favor, also put here in a comment, what is some of the, you don't have to put the question, but you can say, hey, I want to know more about mindset. I want to know more about listings. I want to know more about, lead sources or whatever it is. And we can go, and Coach Ivon can go find the questions regarding that. So thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for investing time, energy, effort on yourself, and keep learning and talking here to 2 coaches that love to help and give and support you guys on your journey. So thank you. Thank you, Coach Ivon.
Yeah, thank you, Coach V. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Ask Coach V.
Yes, see you soon. Go rock and roll. Go sell a lot of homes. Ciao.